Yesterday, I was watching Mykelti and Tony's latest watch party, which I believe they hosted on March 22nd. Something I really enjoy that Mykelti and Tony do is they take questions straight from their live chat and answer them. During this watch party, Mykelti revealed the daily schedule they have for their twins and Avalon, and I gasped because frankly, I could never. It reminded me a lot of what we've heard over the years of the schedule Robyn keeps at her house, and I just needed to discuss this with you guys. Let's get into today's video. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be voiceover commentary. First, let me just start off by saying that the early days, months, and even years of parenthood are survival mode. You figure out what works for your kid or kids and you just pray to make it through. For example, my daughter rejected a pacifier around 2 months old. She just didn't like them anymore. And she hated this Mamaroo rocker thing I got that was a really expensive must-have baby item the year she was born. I ended up giving that to a friend. Not all the things work for every baby, toddler, or child. But what every baby, toddler, child, and parent does need is sleep. So Mykelti talks about her kid's sleep schedule, and this is what she had to say. First, she prefaces by saying she recognizes it is late, but none of her kids are in school, and this is what works for them. She says Avalon gets up for the day at 11 a.m., she goes down for a nap around 4 p.m., and she'll take about a 2-hour nap. She goes down for quiet time in her room around midnight and is usually asleep by 1 a.m. And Mykelti says Avalon loves this schedule. We know from watching the show over the years, this is super reminiscent of the type of hours Robyn keeps at her house. Saul and Ari specifically was often discussed as a night owl, and we know Robyn was definitely not an early riser. It seems like Avalon is getting a good amount of sleep and she's adhering to a schedule, so I wonder if that is sufficient. Does it matter when your kid is getting sleep as long as they are getting the recommended amount of hours? I'm sure someone that's in the know will comment and let us know. I'm a few years older than Mykelti, and at my age, 9 p.m. is the new midnight. There is just no way I could survive this schedule. So hearing this, I was like, oh my God, this sounds like my actual worst nightmare. But I also work a full-time job and my daughter is in preschool, so this kind of schedule just would be physically impossible for us anyways. It's a struggle to adjust to daylight savings in my household. I just can't imagine when the time comes for Avalon to start school to have to gradually adjust her sleep schedule by hours. Also, say you need an overnight babysitter. Is Christine going to have to stay up till 1 a.m. to accommodate this schedule? Brutal. Robyn in general is just not the person I would personally look up to as any kind of beacon of parenting knowledge, but that's just me. So Mykelti, my girl, I hope this is the only thing that you share in common, that being the desire to sleep in late. Robyn is a good example of how you can be present in your kid's life and still be a toxic parent. Her oldest kids are being held back from thriving. Her kids were described as prisoners during the pandemic by Cody, and that is a troubling descriptor. I would not be proud of that. And then she brings in a nanny, which I don't know the hours her nanny is working, but I wouldn't want to work a schedule of, say, 11 a.m. to midnight just to accommodate Robyn's desire to sleep in. And as I've talked about in other videos, her kids are the only kids she's been an active part of their lives. Mykelti has come out to say how close she is to Robyn, which honestly baffled me because I never saw a whole lot of bonding or parenting going on between Robyn and her non-biological children. Mykelti was allowed to be at Robyn's because she served a purpose for Robyn. She was free childcare even though Mykelti was a literal child herself. But just because Robyn doesn't actually take part in parenting Cody's kids doesn't mean she will miss an opportunity to ride the trauma coattails when one of his other kids is going through a hard time. In my last video, I talked about how hypocritical Cody was for adhering to never being away from Robyn's kids for more than 2 to 3 days at a time, while simultaneously condemning Christine for asking for too much, for simply asking Cody to be around more or help put his own kids to bed. One incident that Christine pointed to as a breaking point in her marriage to Cody was the fact that Cody did not attend Isabel's scoliosis surgery.
It's not really a dull ache, but like it's a sharp pain. Like every time I move, I get like sharp pains down my back.
When I see Isabel in pain, I just want to go mommy her.
Robyn says that when she sees Isabel in pain, she wants to go mommy her. Remember back when the anthropology students were visiting the Browns, they pointed out how much time Cody spent with Robyn and her kids versus everyone else.
I noticed that he has a lot of one-on-one time with Saul.
Cody does?
Yeah, Cody has a lot of one-on-one time with Saul. But I noticed he doesn't have as much one-on-one time with the older kids.
I'm a little concerned by the conclusion that Antoinette's come to, and maybe Richard's on it too, I don't know. But in this little snapshot of our life, yeah, Solomon and him have had, some one-on-one time, but that's because of his surgery, so.
One of Robyn's excuses here was, well, Saul just had dental surgery, so Cody is around more because Saul needs him more. And just a quick aside, I don't think Cody should start dipping out on Saul and Ari just because he's a shitty dad to everyone else. I want him to carry that same energy that Robyn requires of him to his relationships with his other kids. So Robyn felt this urge to go mommy Isabel, who was in so much pain. And Robyn knows firsthand that when your kid has surgery, they probably want both their parents around while they're recovering. All of her kids were doing remote school at this time. Why couldn't they all go to New Jersey to be there for Isabel? I mean, everyone moved to Flagstaff because Robyn couldn't let Dayton have a tiny bit of independence. If Cody can't be away from Saul and Ari for more than a couple nights and Isabel was in need of this surgery, they could have certainly found a short-term rental so that Cody could be there for all of his kids. This is the thing that is so frustrating, especially with Robyn and Cody. There seems like there are always solutions to problems that are preventing the family from getting together, but they almost purposefully bury their heads in the sand to avoid any problem solving. Isn't it funny how one thing can remind you of Robyn and then all of a sudden you're down a rabbit hole? So Mykelti's sleep schedule for Avalon reminded me of the sleep schedule Robyn adheres to in her house, which made me think, my goodness, I hope that's all Mykelti is trying to emulate as far as Robyn's parenting goes. Thanks for coming on this rabbit hole journey of mine. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at realiteasquad, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Have a good one. Much love.